For the last month or so, Nikocado Avocado fans grew extremely worried over the fact that Nick had not posted in over a month to any of his multiple mukbang channels. Nick has several channels where he's been consistently posting content on daily. And since he was so consistent on his channel, taking time off with no announcement began to have fans feeling concerned for his well-being. There were rumors going around that something horrible had happened to him, and there was also some speculation that maybe he had landed like a television show on a network like TLC, because he's mentioned that being a goal of his, and some people thought maybe that's why he was stepping away. Some also thought it could very much be for attention, since he hadn't announced a reason for leaving, and thought that this was maybe a way for him to take a break, but also keep some suspense and keep viewers engaged and curious about his life. Now, people are pretty aware though that Nick is an online troll, and he does put on this character for his videos where he is more dramatic and is constantly fighting with his partner Orlin. Nobody can ever really tell what to believe in their videos together or with anything that Nick says, since he's clickbaited a million times that he's either quitting YouTube or he's breaking up with Orlin. But with this specific time, because he wasn't posting at all and he was silent on social media, people were concerned. Otherwise, people would have just thought 100% he's clickbaiting. But because he just abruptly left, and he is always talking about how important it is to post and this is his whole career, and he really prides himself on consistency. So for him to just up and leave, it was definitely a cause for concern. It was definitely out of the normal clickbait content that he tries to like get people to believe in. Also, during the time where he had disappeared from the internet, Orlin tried to then tell the world on Instagram that him and Nick had broken up, and that was the reason why Nick was away from the internet. People were like, okay, maybe this time it could be real, because it definitely felt off and more serious in tone, this whole situation, because it wasn't like any of the previous times where he has tried to fool people into believing something that was not true about him in his life. So a lot of people in his comment section were just concerned, and they wanted answers and hoped that everything was okay. Obviously, there were tons of people that were not believing anything and have been so over Nick for the last couple of years, just not wanting to believe anything that he's putting out, and is just clearly exhausted from all the lies. And I will say that they were definitely right for not believing any of the things that Nick had people suspecting during this break, because he did come back this month to YouTube and to do mukbangs, and he was acting like he hadn't even taken a break. He didn't really address the break at all. He has gone back to making mukbangs like usual, which is probably the strangest part, because yeah, he's been clickbaiting why he's been gone or the real reason for my break, but he hasn't actually said anything. Like, it's just very Nick, honestly. Always just leaving people confused. So since his break, he's posted 2 videos, and Orlin is in both videos, so there was no breakup clearly, and they're acting like they usually are, so it's a whole roller coaster ride for the subscribers. I mean, it really isn't like any other mukbang channel, I'll tell you that. This is a whole soap opera at this point. Now, the strangest part about these comeback videos is literally that Nick is addressing his vegan days. And if you guys don't know, Nick used to be vegan, and he did vegan mukbangs back in the day, as well as play the violin. And then he decided to start eating meat, and his whole channel just surrounded mukbangs and eating large amounts of food and consuming meat products. Well, in this video, him and Orlin were talking about being vegan, because Orlin was trying not to eat animal products anymore, and he wanted to be vegan. He said he'd been trying his best to do it for the last couple of months. But in this video, Nick was really pushing him to eat meat and cheese.
No. No. I'm not gonna have the animals.
F the animals are already dead.
No.
They're already dead.
I'm gonna let down so many vegans.
Nick even joked that Orlin was going to beat him up later because he was talking him into not being vegan anymore.
First, try the cheese. Warm up your spirits. I'm a vegetarian. Just...
I should make a video on my channel, Breaking Vegan. They're gonna be so sad.
He's gonna beat me up after this video.
I'm gonna get angry. The animals make me angry.
Orlin was down to cave on the cheese, and then Nick decided to feed him some chicken and really make sure he wasn't vegan. And then the celebration began for Nick.
Ah!
Yay! We quit the vegan.
This is home. No, the chicken. It's really good.
It was definitely bringing all the joy and more to Nick.
Yes! Yes! Ah!
Nick then talks about his vegan days and says that when he stopped being vegan, a fog had lifted from him and he felt so good, like he was seeing the world again. And Orlin was definitely enjoying the food and seemed to be in really good spirits.
I feel like I'm alive again. It's weird. It's so weird.
That's exactly what I experienced when I quit being vegan. I told you that a light bulb went off in my head.
No.
A light bulb, like you're like, oh, I'm still here. You feel like you weren't on Earth, right?
Yeah.
Like you were not here on Earth.
I was a space cadet.
Yes. You were not here on Earth. The light bulb just went off. It's instant. Ask any vegan that quits. They all say the same thing.
Now, the weirdest part about this and the weirdest part about their little soap opera mukbang channel is that the storylines are just always all over the place, because here we have Nick and Orlin sitting down, having this grand old time, eating this food. Orlin is having the time of his life. He's so happy. And then on Orlin's channel, he posted a video titled "Why Nick Left Wendy's Mukbang." And in this video, he doesn't talk about why Nick left the internet, but instead he starts to talk about how Nick forced him to start eating meat again and goes into all the reasons why he's upset.
I've been having a lot of feelings and emotions concerning eating foods that don't identify as vegan. My pig of a husband forced me to eat the food, and he basically shoved chicken into my mouth. And as someone that identifies as vegan, it's really hard to cope with that because I don't want to eat the animals.
And then starts saying that Nick and his weight is really unhealthy, and he is just saying it's really sad that Nick can't see how bad things are getting for him. And he is saying all of this stuff, and it is a real switch up from when the two of them were all happy-go-lucky, sitting there together, eating their chicken, eating their cheese, eating their fries. Oh my goodness.
And you know, Nick doesn't care about that because all he cares about is getting to 600 pounds, because he has this goal of getting to 600 pounds. He wants to be a 600-pound girl, and he doesn't care what it takes. He basically is eating himself to get on TV because he wants to be 600 pounds. He doesn't even move anymore. All he does is ride a scooter, and he only goes basically the distance a scooter takes him because that he can't move. He's immobile. The most he can do is waddle up and waddle down on a scooter, go to Walmart, buy more pants because he keeps bursting the seams on all his clothing. So he's constantly having to go to Walmart to buy more clothing because he doesn't fit in it because he keeps bursting the seams. And it's just like this situation type deal that's horrible because it's a downward spiral to weight gain. So it's an upward spiral, right?
I know this is probably all some weird form of fake drama between them, although I do think that Orlin is telling the truth and that Nick does want a TV show because he has talked about it before. So I do think that's his end goal. Maybe they're creating all this drama so that there is a network that is more willing or excited to want them on a show. But I do think that a few months ago when Nick made a video talking about how these fake fights that they do for the camera and for the videos take a toll on their relationship, their real relationship.
He knows as well that like people love to see us bicker, so he's like extra bickery because he knows that that's also what the people want. So it's like license for him to be mean to me and kind of ruin my happiness because we get rewarded at the end of it anyway because people enjoy seeing us fight like cats and dogs. So imagine living with someone that you're not getting along with, but then the more you don't get along with them, the more clicks you get. It's a very bad position to be in.
I really believe that he was being genuine in that conversation that he had on camera, because yes, Nick gets on camera, he puts on this act, but sometimes, because his videos are 2 hours long sometimes, he does crack and he does get honest and talk about things, whether he's talking about his strategies in posting YouTube videos, or his consistency, or what it's like collabing with other people, or he gets real about his relationship with Orlin. And I really think that he was being super honest in saying that these fake fights do take a toll on them. Because how could they not, honestly? You're fake fighting all the time on camera with your partner, saying really hurtful things, because they were posting every single day at that point, and they were saying really hurtful jokes, shaming one another, criticizing each other's intelligence and looks, and it's gotta take a toll. And so I think that was one of the times where he was real on camera, but they're still continuing to do it. I mean, Orlin is making a whole video on his channel talking bad about Nick and criticizing him. That just seems problematic. And I mean, maybe they just throw content up and try not to look back, and maybe Nick won't even watch it, or maybe they planned out what he was gonna say, but it's such a show, and their entire dynamic just seems very troubling.
Obese man style.
I'm not obese and I'm not a man. You just assumed.
Obese plot.
You just assumed you assumed my weight.
I misweighted you.
You misweighted me.
I'm
having dumplings tonight!
I fit in the freezer.
I'm having dumplings tonight. That will make some room. I'm gonna have a lot of them.
And people in the comments of these videos are just no longer buying into any of their drama and just expressing major concern for Nick and Orlin's well-being, and also their sanity, because keeping up with this drama is just impossible for some people. They're like, we do not believe anything that you say at this point. I do think that Nick knows what he's doing in terms of making videos. Everything does seem calculated, and he is just mostly acting in his videos along with Orlin. Him messing with fans' feelings, though, definitely isn't nice, and I do think it gets exhausting when it's happened for years and years now. I do think that he genuinely wanted to take a break last month, especially after opening up about how these videos take a toll on his relationship. I think he just wanted to take a break without having to like feel as though he was going to lose his audience. So he wanted to just disappear and keep some suspense going, which definitely sucks because you're playing with people's feelings there and people are worried about him. But I guess he's thinking the show must go on and I must keep it going even if I'm not making videos. So that is the update on Nikocado Avocado. He's back, he is still with Orlin, and he's still doing the same old stuff. I for sure want to know your thoughts on this whole situation, because he did put his viewers through a whole roller coaster ride, and I do think that it's really affected how people listen to him and believe him, and will be definitely hesitant to believe certain situations in the future. But let me know what you guys think. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.